What were we gonna name it?
Hello and welcome to Stories About Blank, the podcast where we challenge ourselves and you to creating new stories based on random prompts that we have never seen before.
That's what we talked about naming it.
I'm Morton,
I'm Katie.
and today we are doing our little practice run for this. This is our first attempt at this. This might go to air, might not, and well, we'll find out. So yeah, the basic concept is just we pick out a random writing prompt, and then we talk about the prompt, like what our immediate reactions to it. Then we each write a story based on that prompt, and then we read and discuss our stories.
And how long were we gonna make these stories?
We didn't say. I feel like that can be up to our inspiration level.
More than a sentence?
Yeah.
Less than 15 pages?
Yeah, I'm thinking like this is definitely short fiction, short stories, like bit more than like than the whole categorization. Like talking about like there's flash fiction that is generally like 100 words or less. I feel like we should be a bit more than that.
Gotcha. Like, just how about a set amount of time and whatever we come up with in that time? Like, it doesn't have to be a finished story.
Absolutely, yeah. The point of this is to just get us and the listeners writing. So the main point isn't like, this is not a school assignment. This is creative writing.
This is supposed to be fun.
Yeah, so however much your creativity leads you to is fine. Okay, so I was thinking for our first thing, I found this random plot generator at writingexercises.co.uk. So, and they have here, you can pick. I feel like we don't need to do all of the different things they have on this plot generator, but you can pick main character, setting, situation, and theme. Do you want 1, 2, 3, all of those? And if so, which ones?
What are you feeling first?
I feel like maybe just setting and situation.
Okay, sure, let's do that.
Okay, so clicking the buttons. The setting is the story begins at a luxury island resort.
Okay.
And the situation is a witness to a crime disappears suddenly.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, there's quite a lot to work with there.
Right, what you know? I don't know any of that stuff.
Well, yeah, but that's
cool.
I mean, we live on an island.
We do.
So we not at a luxury resort though.
I've seen luxury resorts in commercials.
Yeah. And mysterious disappearances. Yeah,
we've read some Marple. Christie. We've read some of those.
We watched some Sherlock. Stuff and read. Yeah, I'm sure we can do something with this. Do you have any like immediate ideas?
No.
Me neither. So this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take a break, and when you hear our voices again, we're bringing stories.
Maybe we can play some like elevator kind of music for a few seconds.
Yeah. So that the people who want to write along have a chance to pause and go write their story before they listen to the rest of it.
Yeah.
Because that's the goal here, is to get everyone writing.
Yeah. Okay. See you in a bit. But before we share our stories, first a quick word from the sponsor of this episode, which is me, Katie. Are you a creative person that is looking to expand your reach online, looking to connect with your people and put your product, yourself, your personality out there? I am somebody that has a passion to help people show up as their authentic self in their content creation. I am somebody that is full of encouragement and inspiration and ideas. I'm somebody that can help you build your confidence and help you to connect with a beautiful community of other people who are big-hearted, artistic, world-changing hearts. And I'm also a video editor. So for your content creation, I can assemble the footage, assemble the words, assemble the things, and make it into something cohesive and fun to watch. So if you're looking for a coach, a cheerleader, an inspirer, a supporter, I'm here for you. If that is something that you are looking for, or if you know someone else looking for that, you can send them to me. And I have a website. It is clearingthecreative.com. And I also have a podcast where I work through people's creative blocks and help them to find some movement in their creative process. So that's clearingthecreative.com. And I look forward to being in contact. Now, back to the show.
And we're back.
Oh boy, that was interesting.
It was. Yeah, I haven't just sat down to just write like that in a really long time.
I don't even remember, man.
And so we each got around 500 words. You a bit more, me a bit less.
Haha, sucker.
But yeah, but that feels like a good amount for this sort of prompt.
Yeah. What did you notice about it?
I mean, it was pretty open-ended, so like the whole thing, I picked what I hope will be a very different interpretation of it than you did. We'll see. Maybe you also did.
Yeah. I mean, the show that I've been watching is Dexter.
Oh.
So like he's, working with police, so I went that route. And it was really interesting, just this feeling of getting ideas. Okay, well, what's the murder what's the crime that they saw? What brought them there? Oh, it could be this. Oh, and I'm like, and then you came in a really tense moment, and I'm like, get out! I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
Don't tell me how it's going. I'm in the middle of this here.
Did you write your first idea?
I don't know. I just kind of was going. I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, like I think I did pretty much write the first thing I thought of. But it's sort of like, do you have any ideas?
Like I just started
directions it could have gone that you didn't write?
I did have more detail in mind about what the person saw, but I didn't actually get to that.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Yeah, I sort of had an idea and just went with it from the start. Then it developed differently. It was sort of interesting that I felt I had a great idea for a beginning, and when I started writing, I did not have an ending in mind, which is not normally how I write stuff. So that was really interesting.
Like usually, you have the whole entire world planned out.
At least I like to have the major beats. Like I want to have opening, major plot point, ending in mind before I start writing. But here I was just like, I have an opening and major central plot point. I'll figure the ending out.
And you did?
I did. It's sort of like, well, you'll see.
Are you more excited to hear mine, or are you more excited to share?
I don't know. Do you have a preference?
No.
Okay, I'll read mine then.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, I don't have a title for this yet. I didn't think of that. Well, but we'll see. How could everything have gone so wrong? It was supposed to be an easy job. Steal a master key from a housekeeper and clear out a few rooms while the occupants were out at the beach. Plenty of people brought far more money and jewelry to these resorts than they could reasonably carry around with them, and laughably few of them bothered actually using the safes provided by the hotel. Not that the safes were particularly hard to open either. Frank had performed this exact scheme a dozen times before, without a hitch. every time he took a vacation, in fact, which was how he could afford all the vacations he took. But this time was different, in the worst possible way. Just as he stepped out of his third room of the day, he heard a surprised yelp. It was a kid, right there at the end of the hallway. Looked to be a boy no older than 10. What were you doing in Aunt Maggie's room? Of course. Of course the kid knew who the room belonged to. Oh, I'm the janitor. There was a problem with the sink. I fixed it for her. No worries. You don't look like a janitor. The boy's eyes went wide. You look like a thief. Well, you might think so, but the thing is, and the kid was running. Before Frank could react, he spun around and vanished around the corner. And even though Frank only took a fraction of a second to deliberate before following, the kid was nowhere to be seen by the time he reached the spot the boy had stood. Had he taken off among the maze of identical corridors, or had he made a beeline for the stairwell? Knowing that he would be unlikely to ever find him if it was the former, Frank did the latter. As he arrived at the stairs, he saw something that actually gave him a glimmer of hope. The elevator doors just finished closing as they came into view, and Frank believed he might be able to get down the stairs faster. As he dashed madly down the stairs, he briefly considered what he would do about his predicament, but the adrenaline was already drowning out any semblance of reason. After 4 of the 7 flights of stairs, he was catching up, and on the very next floor he was able to press the call button before the elevator passed. Standing there with a grimace that was formed from the combination of a triumphant smirk and a desperate shortness of breath, Frank stared expectantly at the doors as they opened, and revealed the housekeeper whose key he had stolen.
Nice. This is where I wish it was video, because it would be really fun to be able to see our reactions to the things.
That is true. Yeah, we might have to go video later.
But anyway, that was really fun.
Thank you. Yeah, I am. It's hard for me to not put comedic elements when I write. Like little comedic singers and such, or just like a natural part of my writing style. And I'm like, I'll lean into that.
Why not? This is so many things are just taken way too seriously.
Yeah.
And now to my story. Oh, there was a really great thing that I read in this book about writing that's like, just write down all of your general excuses about why something's not good so that you can get it over with. And then before you share, then you can just say general excuses. And
yeah.
Isn't that good? So without any excuses, here we go. Whoa, this place is nuts. Sally leaned on the bed of the huge circular bed and peered out the window, looking out over the line of islands and impossibly blue water. She noticed people at a swim-up bar laughing and carefully maneuvering their large drinks back to their friends. It felt so bizarre to be here when she was on the clock. This wasn't the kind of place people came to investigate murders. This was the dream, the beautiful people, the escape of monotony. So far from her world, it wasn't even funny. Looking closer, she saw that not everyone was having the time of their lives. She recognized the suspicious glances and protective auras of a few of the tough, tattooed guys. Those were definitely former vets. Those haunted eyes and the huge Semper Fi spread across their chest made the marine background devastatingly clear. They were definitely protecting someone. This was a strange case. She couldn't go in badge flashing and get down to business because the witness to a crime she'd been working on for months was here and had information for her, and she knew she was being watched. Sally had to go in, bikini and oiled, and act like an old friend in order to protect her and get the information. The witness was a nanny who was in a rough space between doing her job and knowing her employers were not the people they said they were. That was made clear when they drugged someone and she discovered a body in the pool. Sally carefully tied the knot behind her back, and dropped her taser, sunblock, phone, and a towel into a small basket purse that had been left in the room for her. She was meant to connect with Taylor at 2 in the afternoon in the kid-friendly part of the resort. Sally found the room easily enough as she walked the path down there, She briefly wondered if they bleached the concrete every night because it looked like no one actually used it. It was a small, dim room with lots of stuffed animals, a mural of sleeping tiger cubs, and small cots. There was an employee whose job was to stay with the sleeping or resting children so the nannies could enjoy a little time to themselves in the meantime. Just as Sally had taken in the scene of the dozing toddlers and babies there and wondered where Taylor was, she heard a scuffle and a groan. She grabbed her taser and ran towards the sound. There was a small shed a little beyond the path, and she saw a man holding a slightly chubby girl from behind, holding something over her nose. Sally ran over as fast as she could, avoiding his line of sight. Taylor's eyes were wide and angry and scared, and she got a kick between his legs until she passed out. Sally saw the door close quickly, and then it was silent. She banged on the door and said, "Open up, police!" But it was silent inside. She was already calling in for help, and in minutes someone came with the master key and quickly moved out of the way. They were both gone. There was no other door, no other way out. What the hell is going on? The worker turned back with a start. Where did they go? There's nowhere they could have gone, is there?
Ah, mystery. Yeah, very different directions. It's interesting that sort of like, yeah. When you're doing like a quick writing challenge like this, it sort of has to end on a cliffhanger almost.
But also, like, my brain was going too much into what happened instead of, oh wait, somebody has to disappear suddenly. I actually have to have that part in there.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the danger of a two-part prompt like this, is that you got gripped by one part of the prompt, and then the setting prompt, and then you didn't, like, the situation prompt sort of got tossed in at the end there.
I mean, did it feel like that?
No. Like, it felt it felt very purposeful. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I liked it. It's and like, yeah, especially for the whole thing of like, yeah, we like this will also be interesting to see if we do this regularly, like how our writing might change with time too. Because yeah, this is we have both done a lot of writing before, but not under this sort of pressure.
Yeah, and like I have not attempted a story in forever.
Yeah.
I'm much more of a poetry, or I'm writing a book, about calling in your inner power kind of stuff, and it's very much personal reflection kind of writing that I've been doing for so long. So,
and the only writing I've been doing lately is background stories for my role playing game characters.
So that was fun.
It was. Yeah. But so, do we have any other thoughts of like other directions you could have taken this prompt? Like, we already took them in two very different directions. Like, I liked the idea of like the witness choosing to disappear. Well, you did the direction that someone else disappears the witness.
And it also could have been like that the disappearing happened in the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, the disappearance can be the triggering incident. Or like, neither of us did disappearance as trigger. I did disappearance as set as middle of story. You did disappearance as ending of story. No one put it in the beginning. So that's definitely a direction to be taken. And then we also did like other things. So like, I also put the crime that was the original crime that was witnessed in the story. You put it before the story. So it's, lots of different directions that it can go. So yeah, we have so there are a lot of variations that we didn't touch on. So that's something that's really interesting to see what other people would do with the same prompt.
Oh, I wanted to say something about creativity, that creativity is something inside of ourselves that needs to be nurtured. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, it's a muscle that you exercise.
Yes.
And just giving yourself that permission to do that, to create a to nurture your creativity.
Yeah.
That's something I was writing about today on my own.
Yeah, in like whatever way that is, like, yeah, we do this. We want to practice our storytelling, but like, just do something creative every day. It doesn't have to be like our daughters are a lot into drawing right now. Like that's how they are exercising their creativity daily. And it's just like it just feels good to create something. Like that is something that is really core to the human experience. I feel like it's just the feeling of creating something.
Yeah.
That's just for the sake of creating. Like the whole thing, people talk so much about like what sets humans apart from animals, and I feel like that is a big thing of just like I don't know if any other animals. There might be other animals that do this, but I can't think of any right now that create things just for the sake of creating.
Have you heard of those fish that, like, in order to attract a mate, like, do those, like, beautiful patterns on the ocean floor?
Yes, exactly.
But that's to attract a mate. That's not just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting that there's art creating animals.
Yeah. Birds' nests and such too. Yeah, there is like
mating dances.
Yeah. Yeah, but humanity is, as far as I know, the only creatures who took those rituals and were like, okay, but what if we do it without there being ulterior motive to it? What if we just did it?
Something that I was really not expecting of this prompt is that I was like getting excited writing it. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already getting invested in, like, oh no, she's being taken.
I was also like, getting invested in my own story as I was writing. And that, it's just fun when you get to do, like, when you are writing something that is just for enjoyment, that it's like, you can get invested in your own writing. Like, it's a bit like
story,
the apocryphal story about the Dumas crying to his neighbor about one of the three musketeers getting shot. I think he eventually managed to write himself out of that, so that the character survived. But
spoilers. No, I'm just kidding. You mentioned our kids. Like, this is something, if you're a parent especially, like, you need something for yourself. It makes you a better parent to do something that you just enjoy, that you just love, that lights up that part of you that can feel really dormant sometimes.
Absolutely. So, well, if you're hearing this, that means we decided it was good enough to release, and that will also mean that there will be more coming.
Hey!
So keep an eye on this space, and we'll see you next time.
And come up with an outro.
Yes.
Or something.
Yeah, and also, I feel like if we are publishing these, that means there will be a link somewhere in the description of somewhere you can share your stories with us.
Ooh,
because
or email them to us.
Because we want to know what you did with this prompt.
Ooh, what if some days people sent in prompts for us?
That would absolutely be a goal of mine.
That would be cool.
That this would eventually become a listener-driven prompt thing.
Yeah. Oh, and we could like pick a prompt, something that somebody sent in, and read that.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, like yes, that would be cool. Create your own, create or find your own prompt. Write a story based on it. Send both of them to us, and then we will also write based on the prompt, and then also read your story.
Ooh, so many fun ideas. All right, so thank you for being here, and bye.
Bye.
This has been Stories About Blank, a creative writing podcast. Please share this with friends and support us in helping this podcast to grow and reach all the creative people that are looking to get some inspiration. See you next time.